Many thanks to all those involved in telling this story. In Part 2, GERL President Patty Livingston joins us to explain in depth the reach of their activities in saving horses in distress. Plus, more with Ken, Susan, Jack, Dottie, and Robin from Frog Leap Farm. For Mountain Trails, I'm Cindy Williams. Today's trail finds us again at Frog Leap Farm in Hiwassee. Last time we began to explore a new and growing problem in Georgia and the nation, a problem centered around an unlikely cause, the neglected and abused equine. We're honored to have with us today the president of the Georgia Equine Rescue League, Miss Patty Livingston, and we're going to talk to her just a little bit about her role with the Equine Rescue League. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do on a daily basis?
Well, I oversee, I guess, the duties of all the members and all the leads, particularly the area coordinators, and I do a lot of booth sitting where we will educate people about what GERL is. We do fundraisers, and so I'm a big part of that and in charge of the auctions as well.
Right.
So we also do education to several groups like 4-H, and I'm involved in that as well. So I have my hands really in a lot of everything.
Lot of different things. Yeah. And how long have you been doing this?
A year and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just as president,
just
correct?
as president.
But
I've been a member since the beginning, which has been 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. Well, we had talked a little bit about one of your goals, maybe as the president, is to kind of restructure the organization and start the communication flow and such. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, my goal is actually to give more presence of GERL in other areas of besides just the immediate Atlanta area, which is basically the way it's been for the last 16 or 17 years.
Okay.
So what I'm wanting to do is divide the state up into regions and build a framework in those regions where each region would have an area coordinator lead, and they would have a education coordinator lead, and then they would have several area coordinators. And those people all work together as one team to educate their community, to give vaccination clinics, to put on their own rides in their own areas, and make more presence of people aware of the presence of GERL in their area and how we can help with their horse problems.
Wonderful. Are you patterning that after something else that you've seen?
Well, the GDA is actually broken down into regions.
Okay.
However, they've only got 10 inspectors, so one of the whole reasons why I wanted to pattern this sort of in their areas to be able to help them more.
Right.
We do help them financially, and we help them in any way that we can, but with 10 inspectors doing 159 counties, you know, they're
tough.
Spread very thin.
Yeah,
so I feel that we
exactly.
could be more assistance if we had a structure built that mimicked theirs.
Are you just starting that process then to set up that structure?
Yes,
Relatively new
as a
thing?
matter of fact, I just recently met with 3 new area coordinators down in the Valdosta area,
Okay.
who are very excited about networking and getting more people involved, and putting on a vaccination clinic as a first introduction to who GERL is and what we do. Yeah.
I imagine you do a lot of traveling with your position.
I do a great bit of traveling.
You have to go all across the state. Yeah. Well, okay, and along those lines, with this new structure, then I know that there's been a recent appointment to your area coordinator director. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. Jack and Dottie Carter didn't mention this, but they have just accepted the role as our new area coordinator directors.
Okay.
And they are very excited about that and have big plans to help build the framework, help to with the communication process has been really one of our big downfalls. The state is just so large. How do you reach so many people and keep them all connected to what we do and the goals that we've set and the direction that we're moving in? So we've had a lot of growing pains, and Jack and Dottie are 2 people on fire that want to help spread the news about GERL, and we're excited that they accepted that position.
Absolutely. I doubt you could find 2 more passionate people.
That's
and
true.
We've seen that today,
Yeah.
and of course I've seen it as well otherwise. So, Well, we talked a little bit with the others about, partnerships and trying to work with local entities or others that can help you, even with that communication that you're talking about and such. But I think that we might want to elaborate a little bit about the law enforcement and kind of some of the things that you guys have been doing to pull in local law enforcement and others who can help you.
Well, the idea was to, we call it a 10-county meeting because we picked 10 counties at random that happen to be in the area where most of the board members live. And we invited them to free dinner. And we sent out letters to the sheriff, and we invited him to send 2 people. We invited animal control in that same county to bring 2 people and come to our presentation. The presentation consisted of a little rundown about the current laws from the GDA, the Georgia Department of Agriculture. Robin Easley showed up to do that, and then I did a presentation that basically said, this is why you were invited. We need your help. You have the power. There are 10 inspectors for the whole state of Georgia. They need help, and you have the power. And what we'd like to know is how you currently handle an equine call, and how many calls do you get a month, and would you be more willing to get more involved if we helped you? And we offered to help with their vaccinations, their castrations, hauling their horses, disposing of their horses. They need to find a home for it. Just about anything. We also offered to erect temporary holding facilities and feed and hay or whatever it required for them to get involved to help with Georgia's equine problem.
Sure, sure. So it wasn't just going and asking them for something, but it's saying, how can we help you so that we can work together?
Right.
Did you have good success with that?
We had wonderful turnout from 8 of the 10 counties that we invited came. A couple of those counties had never had heard of us and were not involved in the past. We immediately got a call from Rockdale County asking for funds to help with their stall situation, because they do have equine facilities in their small animal control. We bought stalls and some fencing for them, had some fencing put up. We also took 2 horses from them and helped place.
Oh, wow.
And then we had in Rockdale, that was in Rockdale County, and then in a couple other counties we got calls as well. So they all expressed an interest in our program and wanting to get more involved. So we were very excited about taking that further to other counties and introducing it to other law enforcement.
So you've seen more of a focus on the equine because, a lot of times when we think of animal control and such, we do just think dogs and cats so often.
Right.
But for those of us who maybe aren't as involved or whatever, our mind might not go to that, but you have definitely then seen a difference.
Absolutely. And there are not a lot of animal controls who do equine because they just don't have the facility for it.
Right.
But for the ones who do have the facility or do see the need, and typically what they're seeing themselves are at-large horses, more at-large horses than they've ever seen before, and that means a horse running loose.
Right.
And that's something that you didn't see too much of 10 years ago. So we're seeing a lot more need in their area, which is why they're more interested.
Right, right. Very good. Well, let's talk just a little bit about some grant money that was received to do the vaccination clinics. So
we received a $10,000 grant from PetSmart this year to be used for vaccinations and also for Coggins. So we have committed to using that money, that grant money, to vaccinate all of the GDA impounded horses. We didn't know that they weren't being vaccinated, so that's fixed that problem.
Right.
We've also offered the same program to law enforcement and animal control agencies. They pick up a horse and they have no funds. We say, we'll pay for that. Just send us the bill. And so it's a good way to help the communities who don't have funds otherwise to do that.
But it does go through the local organizations, and it's not like individuals can take advantage of that?
Right.
Okay.
Well, only horses coming through our program that are accepted by our board.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. All right, and one other thing that we wanted to touch on was the Stallions to Gelding program.
Oh yeah, my favorite topic. Yes, I have specific thoughts and passion about trying to reduce the number of horses in Georgia, and that has to be done through castration. And there are I mean, so many of the horses that we pick up or we hear about are being picked up are stallions. You can't find a home for a stallion. So we castrate all of the GDA horses, and we will castrate anyone's horse. We don't have grant money for that. We ourselves pledged $2,000 to that program, which I'm very passionate about. When that $2,000 runs out, there'll be more money, and it's my plan to actually apply for a grant next year and get grant funds so that we could actually hold castration clinics.
Right, and it makes it sustainable then.
Exactly.
If you have other monies coming in.
Yeah.
Well, Patty, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
It sounds like you really have put a push on the education side of things.
Right.
You're getting the structure in place, and you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that.
Yep.
And
I've enjoyed it.
we look forward to seeing great things out of you.
Thank you so much.